Hey guys, what's up? It's Dean Man for Yoga. So today's going to be a 15-20 minute video. Just going to be a quick warm up to help with your with twisting motions, with your hip flexors, and with your hamstrings, and a little bit with your calves as well. So just a good thing to help warm you up. Again, not a full session, but beneficial regardless. So we're going to start today in a squat position. So not a squat in the sense that your feet are about hip width distance apart. That would be more yogi. Instead, we're going to do a little bit more traditional squat, so something that you'd be used to if you were at a gym and you were doing a full squat, back squat, weight and everything, all the way down, etc. So we're going to start about there. Feet are going to be pointing out slightly, so not pointing straight ahead, pointing out slightly so your hips are starting to open up. Bring your arms straight out in front of you, lower down in the squat. Bring your arms to the inside, twist up, reach up with the opposite hand, and the right hand reaches down, and then come back to center, reach back out, twist opposite side. So now as I'm looking right, my right hand comes up, and I'm using my left elbow for leverage to open up here, come back to center, stand up. There's one. We're gonna do 5 of these. Lower down, open up, back to center, open up, back to center, and up. There's 2, 3. Oh, forgot a spot. And back up. There's 4. So we're working on twisting here. We're also working on warming up our hamstrings and our hip flexors and the quads. So there's 5. We're gonna do 5 more things. 5 more squats, just a different variation. So come down, reach. If you come down and look left, you're going to reach your right arm out, reach your left arm back. So we're working on twisting now. Try to keep your spine straight. Try to keep your back perpendicular to the ground. So you're reaching your chest forward, keeping your core engaged, not bending over like this. Come back to center, reaching around. There's 1, and stand up. 5 of those. Lower down, reach out. Keep the core engaged, long, flat back. Reach forward, other side. Come back and up. There's 2. Again, keeping the core engaged, not letting your lower back slide in. And up. 2 more. And trying to keep your hips squared forward. So you don't want to turn your hips like that. You want to keep your hips even here. 1 more. And back up. So you should be feeling it a lot in your quads. And your hip flexors should be pretty warmed up. I'm sweating right now. Don't know if you are. Either way. So we're going to come to warrior 1 now. Just choose a side of your mat. I'm going to look forward. Bring your right foot forward. Drop your left foot back. So you're pointing your left foot at a 45-degree angle, squaring your hips up toward the front. So I'm pulling my right hip back, pulling my left hip forward, and I'm going to bend into my right leg. Engage the core, pull your pubic bone forward and up so your lower back doesn't start to sink. This is a lazy back, and this is my core engaged. So that's the difference. That's going to protect your lower spine. Press down hard to the back foot so you start to feel your calf opening up, and then think of turning your left thigh inward. So I'm like bringing it over and in. So I'm spinning this inward. That's going to help open up my hip here, help keep my hips squared forward. And again, the last touch is to bring the core under, engage the lower core. Knees bent over ankle here if you can. If this is too easy for you, widen your stance. If it's not, if you widen your stance and you start to feel your back cave in, then you're going too far. And shorten your grip, shorten your stance. Then you reach your arms straight up. So my body's squared up to the front. My biceps are framing my head. Core is engaged. And this is warming up the hip flexors, warming up the calf. Keep pulling the right hip back and the left hip forward to square up your hips. 5 more breaths here. Bring your hands into prayer. Open up into warrior two. So warrior two, I'm going to drop my back foot a little bit further back. Keep the same bend here. Keep the knee over ankle. And now you're going to open up your hips up to the side. So I'm squeezing my core, bringing my butt under my body. Bring my butt under my core to engage my lower core. Squeezing my heels toward one another and start opening up my hips. And then my arms come up, making sure that I'm not leaning too far forward, too far back, but that I'm somewhere right in the middle. And then bending a little deeper into my front leg so that the knee comes over the ankle. Still pressing down to the outside of the back foot so that there's some gap between the arch of your foot and the ground. And we're doing 10 breaths here. You should see your big toe around your knee here. If you can't, bring your stance in a little closer and try pulling your knee out to the side. That'll help open your hip up. Make sure you're keeping your hips squared up to the front. 5 more breaths. One, straighten the leg, and now we're going to stretch the hamstring. So we're going to stretch right hand all the way forward as much as you can. Revolve the hand. Bring your right hip under your left hip. So you're pushing your right hip, bringing your left hip over your right hip, and then reaching up with your left hand. Pressing into the inside of your calf with your outside of your right hand to open your chest up to the side. And extending as much as you can in the left hand. Make sure that you're still planted in the back foot. And then you want to engage the quadricep in your right leg to protect your knee. And keep your hamstring engaged. 5 more breaths here. Keep reaching up a little higher. Try and bring your right hip under a little bit more. 3, 2, 1. Revolve up. Bring your right foot forward, face front, and then bring your left foot to the opposite side. So your left foot's facing forward now. Bring your right foot up and in just a little bit and set up for warrior one, this time with the left foot in front. Press down through the back foot. Square your hips up toward the front. Bring your right hip forward. Bring your left hip back. Bend into your left knee. Keep pressing down in your back foot and try and pull your core. Try and pull your butt under your core. So bringing the pubic bone up and forward and reaching my arms up. Pressing down hard on my back foot. Keep my core engaged so my lower back doesn't collapse. And try and bend so that your knee comes over your ankle. And if that's too far, shorten your stance. So bring your left foot back or your right foot forward. Again, hips squared toward the front, arms overhead, biceps straight in ears. Keep pressing through the back foot. Internally rotate your thigh, your right thigh, and then squeeze your feet toward one another. Bring your left hip back. See if you can bend a little deeper while keeping your core engaged. 5 breaths here. Last one. Bring your hands in. Drop the right foot back. Set up for warrior two. Square my hips up to the side now. Left foot still pointing forward. Right hip comes to just short of 90 degrees so that my toes are pointed in somewhat. Bend into the knee, front knee, hips squared up toward the front. Pull my butt under my core, so I'm pulling my pubic bone up and forward. So this motion brings my butt under my core, protects my lower back. Keep pressing down through the back foot, and arms come up to shoulder level. Look down at your toe. You should see your big toe around your knee. Try bending in a little deeper on the front leg. Keep your arms level though. You don't want to be too far forward or too far back. So you want to be right in the middle. And keep your hips squared up to the side. 5 breaths here. 2, 1. You're going to straighten the left leg now. Reach your left arm forward as far as possible, and then windmill your arms. Engage the left quad, and then reach your right arm up. Press the outside of your left hand into the inside of your left calf. Make sure your hips haven't turned here, so you don't want your hips to turn like this or turn back like that. You want to keep them straight just where they were. And then try opening your chest toward the side. And then stack your right hip on top of your left hip. Trying to bring your left hip under your right hip. See if you can reach a little higher in your right hand. 5 more breaths. 4. Keep the left quadricep engaged. 3, 2, 1. Revolve back. Point your toes forward. So now we're in a straddle position. Bring your chest open. Bring your arms behind your back. Interlace your fingers. And then come forward. Reach your arms up behind you. Try to bring your arms up over your head. The more you relax your head toward the ground, the easier this will be for you to bring your arms up. This will help open up your shoulders. If you're a bigger guy and you have bigger shoulders, or you have tighter shoulders, this is going to be difficult. So the other thing you can do is grab a strap. So you can grab one of these or a t-shirt. Keep your, you don't want to have your hands like this. You want to have your hands like this as you reach up. And you can pull in opposite directions. This will help open up your shoulders. I'm bringing the weight into my toes, trying to stack my hips over, bring my hips in line with my feet. So I'm not pressing back, I'm reaching forward. Bringing the weight into the fronts of my feet, not in my heels. Reaching over with my hands, trying to bring my hands over my body. Keep the legs engaged to protect your knees and your hamstrings. 3 more breaths. 2, 1. Release your hands forward. Walk your hands out. Try and straighten your back now. So you have your back parallel to the ground. Balancing on your fingertips. Weight's definitely forward now. Some of the weight in your fingertips, some of the weight in your foot. And try and bring your chest open. So reaching your chest up, same as you would do in Cobra. And engage your core. And that'll help you get a little more flexibility in your hamstrings. So 5 breaths here. 3, 2, 1. Bend your knees to come out of this safely. And then jump your legs back together. Now rise all the way up slowly. Ta-da! So your hips should be open now. Your calves should be stretched. You should have pretty loose hamstrings. Or your hamstrings shouldn't be tight anymore, at least. So now you can do your day. So that's just a little short exercise for you to, again, help open the major muscle groups in your legs. We also did a lot of twisting at the beginning, so that's going to help. And that's all I got. So I'll see you guys later. Have a fantastic day.